morning, good afternoon, good evening. Remember, it depends on what part of the country that you're in. Want to say good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Sisters Strengthening Sisters Talk Show with my co-host, Dr. Lois L. How you doing today?
I'm blessed.
That's good. We have a great guest. I can't
Yes,
wait for
we
her to
do.
come on. Very knowledgeable. You know, we went to school together, and I just love her dearly. But anyway, we got some things that we need to talk about today.
Yes, we
How
do.
was your week?
Oh, my week was fantastic.
Me too. I had a
Had a very-
great week. Busy as usual.
Yes.
Trying to get rid of this no-nonsense cold. The weather's up, the weather's down. I love it when we had those few days. It was beautiful.
Yes.
But I guess wintertime has to have winter. You know, the season's got to have the time that they have.
See, we have to be careful when the weather changes like that. You can't take your
Yes.
clothes off.
And guess
Yeah.
what I did? I seen people outside with shorts, and I was like, they were looking at me like I was crazy because I had the neck wrap, the coat on. I said, I'm not taking mine off. But anyway, I had a wonderful, busy week as usual. And we have some great things that are coming up that we're going to be talking about. I know one of those things this coming Saturday for all of you who are interested. Okay, we got a cheerer in the back because he believes that the men are going to win. But we're so sadly to tell him that the ladies got it down pat. And it's called How Well Do You Know Your Mate? Now, Pastor E may be one of the winners because, you know, they've been married for a long time. So they probably know each other very well. But there's going to be some younger couples, some older couples. And it's just going to be a Saturday night of fun, dinner, prizes, and, you know, just finding out really how well they know their mate. Because a lot of times we think we know our mates and we really don't. A lot of times they think they know us, and they really don't. So this week we're doing something called How Well Do You Know Your Mate? It's going to be over at Cousin Mario's in Maysland, New Jersey. If you're not doing anything, you need to come on over just to check it out.
Yes.
It's going to be at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's going to be a fun time. So if you're not doing anything, make sure you come on over. And then I know we have something coming up in March.
Yes, we do. Okay.
And it-
So the Westminster Christian Worship Center, we will be having our annual conference.
Yes.
March the 10th through March the 15th, 2019. On Sunday, March the 10th at 4:30 p.m., we will be having Pastor Ronald S. Walker, Kingdom Building Ministries, Vineland, New Jersey. And then on Wednesday, March the 13th at 7:30 p.m., we will be having Pastor Leroy Nebick III, Emmanuel United Pentecostal Church, Camden, New Jersey. And on Friday, March the 15th at 7:30 p.m., we will be having Bishop Joel Adams, Temple of Love Christian Center, Philadelphia, PA. And these are just some phenomenal men of God. They're dynamic. So come out and just be lifted up in the Lord. And then on March the 16th, we will be having our annual fellowship prayer breakfast. At 9:30 p.m., it will be at the Sheraton Hotel and Convention Center, 1 Miss America Way, Atlantic City, New Jersey. And if you've never been to one of our prayer breakfasts, you're just going to have a high time in the Lord.
And make sure you come dressed. Because they have the high heels and gloves and the hats.
I guess our preacher this year will be Bishop T.L. Penny, Shabbat World Cathedral, Sumter, South Carolina. Now, if you watch the Word Network or TBN, then you've probably heard this dynamic and powerful woman of God. She is just so gifted. And our musical guest will be Committed to Christ, St. Louis, Missouri, and then our very own, New Jersey's very own gospel duo, Duncan and Rachel will be there. And we just have a high time. It's a great fellowship. The food is good.
Yes.
And if you come, I promise you, you will just have a good time.
and you get to see people that you haven't seen in years
Yes.
because it seems like everyone comes out. And it's just a great fellowship to get together with other people that you haven't seen in a long time to hear great preaching and singing.
And this year, the Westminster Christian Worship Center 2019 award recipient is Cody, Career Opportunity Development Incorporated Disability Services. So the tickets are $50 in advance and $60 at the door. So come on out and let's have prayer breakfast, let's have breakfast, and let's just celebrate the Lord.
Amen. And we're going to be Sisters Strengthening Sisters. It's going to be doing the red carpet event.
Yes.
So once you come in the door, you stop on over at the red carpet. We're going to do an interview with you and, you know, just show your beautiful threads that you're going to be wearing. Come over and have some fun. Also, we want you to know that Sister Strengthening Sisters Ministry presents the 4th annual Women of Excellence Award.
Yes.
This year we have great women that have been put together for this awesome event. So join us as we honor and celebrate these 16 women on Saturday, April 27th, 5 p.m. to 9, and that's going to be at the Great Bay Country Club, 901 Summers Point, Mays Landing, New Jersey. Tickets are $55. You can see myself or Dr. Lois L., and she'll have tickets for that event. We're also going to be giving away some tickets at that awesome event on next week. How well do you know your mate? So you just might be one of the blessed winners for that. Also, don't forget that every month we get together, the ladies, the sisters,
Yes.
we get together and we have a good time at the Sisters headquarters in Pleasantville, New Jersey. Our next meeting will be March the 2nd, and we get to talk about the different things, and maybe things that's happening in your life, things that may be happening, you know, at church or at work, home, wherever. But we get together and talk about different things and iron out different things and just have a little fun, do some networking and things like that. So you might want to come to
And
that
we
event.
share so much information.
Yes.
We have
Yes.
women from all over and all different backgrounds, all career areas. This month we had someone come in and talk to us about life insurance and the
Yes.
importance of having life insurance. And sometimes you think you can't afford life insurance, and there are companies that will have, you know, policies available to people in each income bracket.
Yes.
So we educate each other, and we just have a phenomenal time. We really do as women.
Yes, and it's always fun to come out. We have a book club. We talk about the different books that are out, and, you know, just have a good time with the ladies. Because sometimes you have to have like a ladies' night out.
Yes, we do.
So this is what we call our ladies' afternoon out and doing different things. And we do that once a month, every single month of the year. Then in July 12th through the 15th, we will be having our Sisters Strengthening Sisters Cruise.
Yes.
It's a 3-day conference. We're going to be having it on a cruise. We're having an all-white night, and we're going to be on the Navigator of the Sea, 3-night Bahamas and perfect day cruise, leaving from the beautiful port of Miami, cruising to Perfect Day, Nassau, Bahamas, Coco Cay, and the Bahamas. And I know our girls explained all of that to us about Perfect Day. Perfect Day is a country, is an island in the Bahamas, because everybody keeps saying, what is Perfect Day? Well, that's a beautiful, beautiful island in the Bahamas. So we're going to have the opportunity to go there and enjoy that. Come on aboard with us because we're going to have a good time. Put $100 down on deposit down on your cabin, and you just have to have it paid off by April. Ladies, we're going to have a good time, but guess what? It's not just for the ladies, because Brother Britt is going to be working with the brothers, iron sharpening iron.
Yes.
Men at the round table on the cruise. So come on, come aboard. Welcome aboard.
Yes.
Anything else coming up?
Oh, wow. Look for us at the Stellars.
Oh, yes, we're going to be at the Stellas.
We're going to be on the red carpet at the Stellars. So look for us, Sisters Strengthening Sisters, at the Stellars. And we have some things coming up that we will
Yes.
tell you about.
We'll tell you about that real soon.
soon.
We're excited about what God is
doing,
doing
yes.
for Sisters Strengthening Sisters Ministry. The ministry is growing, and also God is just opening up some major, major doors.
Yes, praise
and
the Lord.
we just thank Pastor E and Catch the Fire for allowing us to be part of the network.
Yes.
It's an awesome thing, and we enjoy what we're doing. We enjoy bringing guests on. So I'm excited about what God is going to continue
to
doing.
do. Amen, amen.
So you think we need to get ready to bring on our wonderful guest?
Yes, we have a wonderful guest we want to bring on tonight. You've known her for years, so
Yes.
introduce her.
Let me tell you, we went to school together, and I think we were in elementary school together.
Wow.
That's really telling the age. And then we went, we were in junior high school, and then we were in high school together.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to bring her on right now, and she is going to tell you a lot about some of the things that she's done up until this very point. And her name is Juanita Love. Welcome to the set of Sisters Strengthening Sisters.
Thank you for having me. This is nice.
I know that you have been a busy woman throughout the years, and let's start off with this. Let's start off talking about how was it growing up in a big family? Because I know in my family it was just my mom, my dad, me, and my sister.
Yeah.
That's it. But you had, I think, maybe eight brothers?
Yeah, 8, yes. I'm the
And
oldest of
sisters?
8, yes.
Wow.
Oldest of eight. How was that?
Well, it was a lot of fun. We grew up we didn't have a whole lot of money. We had a duplex on Magellan Avenue, 1924 Magellan Avenue. So I was there till I was 12. So I never forget that address. But we had my father and mother, and we all lived upstairs. They had a duplex and rented that out for another family. But anyway, it was a different time, We used to play outside all the time. Your
Right.
mother called the whole neighborhood. You better not do anything wrong. You better not disrespect anybody because you didn't know who would know your mother.
That's right.
And they told me, my mother's Leslie Sorange in Love. And you look just like Leslie. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So, I couldn't
They
do
know
anything.
my mom.
Yeah, everybody knows. You never know. I know your grandmother. So Atlantic City was a lot of fun then. Back then we had the Steel Pier, the $1
Yes.
Million Pier, the Chicken Bone Beach. There was a
Yes.
skating rink in Atlantic City. There were like 2 or 3 movie theaters.
Right.
I just remember the one on Atlantic and Ohio Avenue that was closest to our house. And it was just a whole nother atmosphere,
Right.
My mother, she used to play the piano, mainly gospel songs, and a little bit, God would come over and show her how to play jazz. She would play by ear. My father was, he could build a house from the ground up. He worked for the city
Right.
in the masonry work for that. As a matter of fact, when I was younger, they had bricks, the red bricks on the curbs, and my father and Mr. Dado, Ralph Dado, everybody, if you're from Atlantic City, you know him. They're part of the team that took up all the red bricks and put down the regular cement. So it was just very imaginative. I remember I didn't even know about artists, but I was an artist way back then. My sister Deirdre, when she was, my father made her crib, and I drew the little teddy bears and lambs from all the. My mother used to read us stories, so we had a lot of stories. She read us about Aesop's fables, the Arabian Nights, and then she used to read us. Oh, I loved it. She used to read Frankenstein, Dracula, and she would go and she would go into all the characters. I love scary movies to this day, and read stories. That was like a big deal then. But, we went to church, but back then you had to have a lot of like fancy clothes and shoes, your church shoes, and we sometimes just had the school shoes, and we would have church at home, and so we had to learn the books of the Bible, and my mother would read us the stories, and then back then, everybody didn't have TV. It was a black and white. And I remember when the Jackson 5 or Diana Ross or somebody came on, because Jackson 5 was later, but it was like Diana Ross. I remember when the Beatles came,
Right.
and people from the neighborhood, they come at our house, and, we watched the Beatles. My mother, she was like, we had the neighborhood house because it
Okay.
was so many kids. Sometimes the mother go out or something happened, and my mother always cooked in big pots. I remember those black wrought iron pans. Remember those? They don't
Yes.
even make them that big anymore. But it was always room for one more, and so that's how my mother raised us. And I didn't realize that we were low income until I really was in college. I kind of had an idea as I got older, but I never realized it because we had so much love around us.
And you never missed a meal.
And we never missed a meal. We always had our bellies full, We went, back then, the school took us on trips. We went, I remember going to the Washington Monument. We saw the Statue of Liberty. We went to the Metropolitan Art, you know what I mean? We went to Philadelphia Museum of Art. The Modern Museum. We just went to different places. My father, he was the one of the babies. They had 13 in their family,
Right.
so I had a lot of aunts and uncles in New York. So they would come and visit us, our cousins, in the beginning of the summer, and then we would go to New York and spend the summers in New York.
Right.
So my aunt would take us to plays and the different the Bronx. This and
So what would make you even think that you were
poor.
poor?
exactly.
You know,
'cause we
you're
didn't
going
have-
everywhere you want to
Well,
go.
I'll put it this way. We didn't have a lot of cash.
Right.
But we were rich in love.
Exactly.
We were rich in experience. I remember Dr. Marshall, the dentist, was Dr. Doggett. I think that was.
Doggett, yeah.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yes,
And,
yes. He was everybody's
He was,
doctor.
everybody went there. Remember the Gunthers? They had the store, and they had a big family too.
Right.
And we had Harry Miller's store, Jewish store, and back then sometimes you get credit and things like that. It was so different. And we would have back then play the drums. The young boys would bring the drums out, and we have like a
Yes.
block party.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't a lot of cars back then, and they didn't have the one-way street, so you could dance in the street, and
Right.
it was so much fun, and it's like I tell my grandchildren, I said, y'all miss it,
Right.
And the children don't go out and play. You remember jumping jacks? I was never good at it.
Daddle.
Jacks. I
Jacks.
could never play jacks, but
Double Dutch.
Double Dutch,
I was
yes.
another one, not very good at that.
But you know what?
But, yeah.
Back then, because I'm just the opposite, I'm the youngest of 8
Oh
children.
Lord,
So,
you're spoiled. You're
so
spoiled,
my
baby.
experience was different from yours.
Yeah.
But I think the value system was different back
Yes.
then because
Yes.
they didn't focus a whole lot on material things.
No, because
That
Right.
wasn't the focus, like you said. The love
It was so
there.
much love.
It was so
Everybody.
much love.
Yes.
And I remember doing so many activities with the church. We had
Yes.
parties. The church took you on trips.
Trips, yes,
I remember the
yes.
block parties. We
Yes.
would block the streets off, put the speakers in the street, and we would have block parties.
And-
I remember being outside running until
Yes.
7 o'clock at night. I think we were
Exactly.
healthier.
Yes.
Because of that, the double Dutch, the
Yes.
jacks. So I think the value systems that we came up with were a
Right.
little different
It
than
was
now.
so different because you had to respect the elders. Like
Yeah.
at our church, with so many of us, we started really going to church a lot because things were getting better. And I remember I was secretary of Sunday school when I was in church. I was like 11 and 12, and we would have our family would go, and then we had the kids we used to play with, and all of us would go to church together. And remember, your mother gave you money to put in the thing, and we would save little coins, get some candy.
Yes.
Right, because they always had the little
Yes.
corner store.
Yeah, we used to go. Yeah, it was. We went to Holiness Church, God in
Yes.
Christ on Hummock and Indian Ave, and that was our
God,
church.
me and you, we have, isn't that something? We
Yeah.
have so much in common. The church that I grew up with, I was the first Sunday school clerk.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
And so
you
it
couldn't
was
tell
just-
me anything.
Yeah, I was the first, and I was about 12.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
the first
uh-huh.
Sunday school
Isn't that
clerk for
something?
the
Because
church.
we were
Yeah.
all doing that.
Yeah, and
You know, even I did that, and I was going to Price Memorial,
Okay.
and I was like one of the youth Sunday school teachers.
Okay,
and stuff.
okay. Our church was kind of small, and on Christmas time, I was in a choir at school. So when I learned songs in school, I would teach it to my sisters and brother. So we had a a Christmas, sort of like a talent show of all the Christmas songs we were learning. They were the 2 and 3 part harmony.
Right.
And
Even back then,
it was
right?
so funny. Yeah, we were singing, so we all sang in front of the church. So what we didn't realize, because we were young, we like some of us were 12, 13, you know, and we started singing. We sang "Come All You Faithful," "Silent Night," all of
Right.
that. Then we started singing "Deck the Halls," and they was like, "No, you can't sing that here."
Wow.
But it was so cute. They were nice about it. You know, we were
Yeah.
babies. You know, we just back then. Like I said, the children just had a lot more respect, you know,
Right.
and the people, they just loved on us so much.
They
you
really
know?
did. And you know, I actually grew up in a storefront holding this church. It was a storefront
Okay,
church.
okay.
But back then, it didn't make any difference to us. I think
No.
this was long before the mega churches
Right.
Oh, yeah,
came
we
out.
heard
It
of
was a
that back
little
then.
storefront
Yes.
church, and we know we had our choirs, we did our plays in
Yes.
that church.
Right,
We
that's
did
right.
everything
Yes.
in that storefront church, and it never made a difference to us.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You know, it just, you know.
You really didn't, and they allowed us to use our imagination
Yes,
a
they
lot.
did.
You know,
Right.
Yes.
I remember we made all kind of things. Like Christmas was a big deal, and sometimes I would go to like the Salvation Army. And they get the old decorations and take them in the house and do something new with them. You know, it was like Christmas was a big deal for me. I was almost 13, still believing in Santa Claus. Okay, I'm just trying to tell you something.
Then
You
that
know?
mean I can't even tell how old I was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, my
I'm just
God.
saying. And the only
I was like-
reason- I found out because my mother, she didn't have a regular hiding place. We had moved to a new place, and my bedroom was in the front, and they had everything hidden under the steps. So I was peeping out trying to look for Santa Claus, and I peeped out, and my girlfriend, we were 2 babies, and so we like, "Mom, is this Santa Claus?" She goes, "For those who believe." And when I found out, I said, "Mom, that was a good answer. That was good. I'm gonna use that."
Right, right,
But it's just
right.
like we were just children, and see, God looked after us all the time. You didn't
Yes.
even know because
You didn't
we
realize
did
that.
so many things that we really should. We used to tell my mother stories that, "Oh my Lord, God looks out for you." Like you say, babies and fools. We were babies and foolish too. We know
Right,
Debbie,
right,
right?
right.
But we had a good time. So anyway, I went to Philadelphia College of Art because I still kept doing my artwork.
Oh, but wait, we got to come back to
Okay.
that. Believing in Santa Claus. The reason why I believed in him until I was like 16.
Oh my
It
goodness.
was probably because my aunt, when I was in Virginia, she had taken me to where they said was Santa Claus' house. So it was this place that I thought was his house because it had all the little elves. I mean, I guess there was little people, and they were all there, and they were working on toys and putting things together.
Oh my
So I'm
goodness.
thinking, nobody can tell me nothing because I've been to his house. I saw him. I saw his wife, who was Miss Claus.
Yes.
I saw the little elves doing whatever they was doing. So there's nothing nobody can
Right,
tell me.
right.
You cannot tell me there's not a Santa Claus. They souped me up big time, and by taking me there because they knew to take me.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So they took me there, and I'm believing this all this time. So
Yes.
I'm like getting in my 20s and stuff, and I'm saying, you know what? It was really something funny about where they took me at. But I'm hearing other people, other kids saying
Yes.
that, it's no such thing. And I'm
Yeah.
saying, they can't tell me that because, see, I was already there.
Exactly.
I was already at his house.
Right. You
can't
want
tell
to
me.
keep.
I
You want to
seen
hold
them.
that. That's your little.
You
secret.
know, the little cookies was always gone, and the milk. Who drank the cookies and milk? I couldn't bust
Yes,
them.
we had to
I
do-
didn't see the
yes.
stuff, and I didn't find no hiding space.
Yeah.
Where was the bike at? Where was the big
Like you
bike?
said, all the snacks were gone.
Oh, everything gone, so
Oh my goodness.
it's so sad. And
Oh.
now I'm 63 years old, and I'm like, it was really no Santa. Who ate all the cookies?
Exactly. Well, well, I tell you, but I think it's something wonderful when children believe in magic and stuff. We always had we knew all the Christian songs, Yes, Jesus Loved Me and different things. But I think this part of the problem today, there is no foundational thing. People don't believe in God, and they don't believe, that there's something greater, stronger. Who was here before us? What created this? I don't know how people can be atheists. Are you serious? You know what I mean? It's
Right.
and God is a great creator. And if you, and like the creative thing, like with art and music and different things, that's just a little piece that God gave us. 'Cause
Right.
He gave us all different talents.
right.
You know what I mean? And to me, it's like, I was blessed not only to have the solid foundation in God and Christ, but I also, like I said, I didn't think you could make money or really go to school for art. And I was in high school, and one of my junior year, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to do anything. And she was Patricia Gerard, and she took me under her wing. And she would put my little artwork in different little shows on the boardwalk and everything. And I started winning prizes because I was like, it's okay. But I remember certain little things. And then she helped me get scholarships so I could go to school. Back then, you didn't have to have a whole lot of money to go to college. I
Right.
believe it was Nixon who cut the federal funds that paid for that. And so when I moved to Philadelphia, go to Philadelphia College of Art, I had to do a 1-year residency so I could get the state money instead
Right.
of, they cut a lot of funds back then. It's a lot harder now, but that's how I was able to, go to school. But, I like I said, they didn't hire sculptors and designers.
And she was definitely a sculptor because when I
Yeah.
seen Ghost and I seen them doing it, I said, "Oh, I remember my girlfriend Nita used to do this."
Yeah, back then they taught you a little bit of everything. I studied sculpture and environmental design, but because you go to school, they have you do painting, make models, models of house design, landscape, just different things, And the other thing too is because they teach you about the history of art because,
Right.
Growing up, even though we went to museums and different things, you think it's just sculpture and painting.
Right.
You don't realize that an artist designed the building, designed the city, designed cars, designed tools. Everything we see really was a creative person. Like I said, we
Right.
have the creative gene from God in us, so you just don't know what part you fit in. Create music.
Right.
Anybody who is ahead in science, MC squared, what's, I'd say his name with the fuzzy hair. Einstein. Thank you. I'm telling you, I'm going to be 64 on my birthday, okay? So I have those moments. But he said, if only I could think like God. If only I could design like God, the perfect designer. So, it's just wonderful. I talk to my grandson now, and he's sort of at that part where he's kind of lost. He's going to be 21 in April, and he's very talented. He has that creative gene, but he's more into, he can fix a phone, he can fix the Xbox, he can fix, he's that way, but he likes the tattoos. That's what's popular now, and I show him the basics in drawing. So that's what we're doing now. But I said you need to go to school because when you think. Right now, your mind is closed because I thought it was just painting and sculpture. When everything you see,
Right.
they're a creation. Flowers are a creation.
Right.
The mountains, everything was created. And I just thank God that I not only have that creativity, but I could recognize it, and somebody saw it in me because I didn't see it in myself.
Right, right.
And so to make money, I started doing the activist thing, and that was like I said, God you play in your life, but God show you what He got for you.
Right.
Well,
Exactly.
and one thing about that we need to do as parents, and that someone did for you, is that when you see that talent in your children, or
Yeah.
whoever you see the talent in,
Yeah.
cultivate it.
Yes.
Yes.
Encourage
yes.
them
Yes.
to,
Yes.
like you said, go to school and
Yes.
develop their
Yes.
talent. Because for a long time, I didn't think I had a gift.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I didn't either.
Because unfortunately, everything that I tried to do or I thought I could do, it was like stumped for some reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So encourage your children,
Oh.
and tell them to, develop your gift. Like you
That's
said,
right.
your parents let you draw the little designs
yeah,
on the
yeah.
crib and things like that, because
Yeah.
that will give them the confidence to go after whatever their
Exactly.
dream
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah.
I think about that now, and I said, God, and I just turned 56.
Okay.
And I said, God, I'm living my dream at 56,
Yes.
finally.
Yes.
And I think about that because, when I was younger, the things that I wanted to do, I always had the ambition.
Yeah.
But letting people stunt your growth, I
Right,
should say.
right.
That's what happens.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
not getting maybe the encouragement that you
Yes.
need.
But
I can-
discourage you.
yeah,
from what it is
discourage
wanted
you
to
from
do.
doing it. So we have to be careful as parents not to do that.
Right.
And be encouragement for each other. 'Cause
Right.
That's the whole
Yes.
thing. You gotta encourage yourself. You gotta encourage other people because first of all, when you do the right thing, because the wrong thing, my grandson, he's my love, he's with me right now, and he's staying with me while he's getting his little stuff together. He, you know, I was saying you have to, oh, I lost my thought again, about my grandson. I just love him so much. When I think about him, I see his face. Because he was in trouble not too long, and everybody prayed for him and talked to him. I said, now, your mother, my mother, everybody poured into you. So you know right from wrong.
Right.
And that's what I was actually going to say. You know right from wrong. And don't try to say, don't follow the crowd. You be a leader.
Exactly.
Don't follow the crowd. I said, because your right mind is telling you what's right. But no, you're going to say, try to think, oh no, and justify the wrong thing. Follow your right mind. That's God telling you. You know right from wrong, because we poured it. He said, you know what, Grandma? That's true. I said, yeah, I know. I was young too. And I'd say, oh, maybe I should give him a chance or give her a chance. They're not, how can you just judge? But you could, you know, God bless us with discernment. And
That's
you know in
right.
your spirit, when you're around something that's right and something wrong, and then you were taught right from wrong. So when you try to justify that thing, you know, God bless me with discernment. I didn't even know what it was called. Somebody told me. I was a grown woman. I was in my 55. Discernment. Oh, that's a gift. I didn't know. Hospitality, that's a gift. I didn't
Right.
know. It's certain things that are a gift, and we do have to tell each other and support each other in
Right.
our gifts. If we do that, we're going to be all right. You know?
Yes,
So
yes.
but the activist thing to me is it was part of a spiritual thing, because we worked on environmental justice, we worked on social justice. We would. This is what my children say, Mommy, I'm so glad you were. Told us about apartheid and all of that.
Right,
So they
right.
couldn't eat at McDonald's. They couldn't buy Reebok. So we had a list of all the businesses we couldn't support. So when one in Mandela got out and everything, they said, oh, Mom, they were so excited. I said, oh, yeah, you can win, but you have to stick together.
Right.
And you have to go from right for wrong. If you know something's wrong, you got to stand on that principle.
That's
You know,
right.
and even though everybody's getting McDonald's or everybody getting the Reeboks, you're not going to do that. And I love my mother for when I said don't take them or don't do certain things, my mother supported me and they didn't take them there or didn't allow them to do certain things. So
Right.
that's what they giving each other support. And sometimes a little support, you might not even recognize it when it's going on, but you'll
Right.
recognize it later on.
Exactly.
Like when you're going through, like I said, life is ups and downs, you know, and I got hurt and I couldn't work and I lost my house. I was 24 when I got my house. I was a baby, really, Debbie.
Yes.
You know, Debbie came and stayed with me for a whole summer.
Yes,
We had
yes.
so much fun.
Yes.
But anyway, and then I couldn't work, you know,
Right.
and they really, if you get sick in America, thank God for Obama and Obamacare, because, but anyway, when I couldn't work and I was hurt, you know, then I had to start all over. And it's like when you're doing good, you have so many friends. But when you go through hardships, after that, the sick, I lost the house. My mother and father died a day apart.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and everything like happened at the same time, and it's like I when my parents died, they said my father had a heart attack. So we go to New York. My brother Joe, Debbie's husband knows Joe, and my brother. I went with him and his wife, and my baby brother. We went, and my father had already passed, so didn't get to see him. But then we were all, thank God it happened. I told my mother about it, and then she passed like the next day. You know, my mother was sick with the kidney disease, you know, taking dialysis and all of that. So we knew she was not going to be with us. We had planned a big family reunion in September because my aunt was going to be like 90. She's like, oh my Lord. Anyway, she's still living, like she's in her 90s now. But anyway, my mother she knew she wasn't going to be here. And I said, oh, Mom, don't think like that. But she already knew.
Right.
And, but even knowing all that time, and I stayed with her, when it happened, I was still in shock, you
Right.
know, but I was in denial. But God being God, I was showing out, having an adult temper tantrum, and, you know, doing all the wrong things, and finally crying. Oh, it was a mess. And finally one night, it's like, you know, when people used to say this stuff, I didn't believe it. Like God spoke to me, but He did. And I was on. It was a Christian station. Excuse me. and it was a song. It was a spiritual song. It's by Cat Stevens, but it was about Jesus and how he created the world. And I can't think of the name right now. But anyway, they just played the music for the song. And it was like they were playing it just for me. I really needed to hear that. And I started writing down. I'm going to give you the words and stuff later because I can't think of it. And I'm an artist, and I never did a poetry thing. I always did the building and design thing. I used to make my own clothes. You remember that,
Yes.
Debbie, And the thing is, when you go through, and I was always so blessed, and I didn't appreciate or recognize. But when that happened, and I could see my mother and father like looking at me like saying, no, baby, like, they wouldn't want me to suffer. And then like God was just holding me up because I was like in a state of shock.
Right.
It's like I was in denial. It was like 2 years after my parents passed, and that's when I all crazy went. It was a mess. And but he just kept me. I came back home because, like I said, my back was really bad. I fell a couple of times and I couldn't go back to work. So I ended up at the mission, and I was there for almost a year. So they helped me out, and I was so blessed because everybody in the mission, they were pastors and ministers and and they had different churches coming. They had church service at 9 o'clock, a church service at 7 at night. They had trips to different churches at Mays Landing offshore. What's that? Mount Zion Church that's near the cemetery. As a lot of the churches that I went to Hargrove's church, and then different churches came to us. Pastor Lyle's, their church. We went to different things, and I was going to everything.
This is building your strength up.
Yes, it was. And it's just like, or I was reading and, and the thing about it, I was even helping because I remember they were doing a thing to raise the minimum wage. And I kind of I was in that little campaign, which that felt good. And, but it was things like that. To me, the politics, it is spiritual. Give Caesar his, but, give God God's. And it's like, what they say, you have to take care, every nation is judged by how you take care of the widow, the poor, the sick, the old, and when I started out doing the activist work, this was when they actually started paying me for it. That was like in 84, something like that. And at that time, 20% of the people had 80% of the wealth. And now, in every time, it was going lower and lower. 5% of the people had more wealth. Now it's like the top 1% of the people have over 50% of the wealth. And so it just shows you how injustice. Oh, yeah, okay, thank you. That's another, that wasn't, it was by, yeah, that's not the song, thank you. She was trying to help me out, thank you so much. Trying to help me remember the song by Cat Stevens. It'll come to me because it talks about Jesus when he woke up, it'll come to me later. But anyway, I lost my thought again. Tell me, Debbie.
He was talking about the 50% of the wealth.
Yes, and so to me, and everybody tries to blame this fool that they got in the White House, but he is doing what they have been talking about for years. I mean, like since the 70s, we had remember the oil thing where we had to stand in line, people were shooting each other to even get gas. We knew about the windmill. We knew about all the other environmental things. I remember I was in the 70s doing an envelope house, doing environmental things, we knew all of these things over 50 years ago. But now it's at the point where you can really see. You can't deny it. It's right in your face. God gives you a pebble, a brick, a stone. Now half the house about to fall on us.
But you know what the good thing about it? The good thing about it is that we all have to remember one thing. And that one thing is that God is still in control.
Yes.
No matter what.
But sometimes, look what he did to Job, okay? He allows the devil to do so much, but then he still...
said, don't kill him.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And it's just like, certain things that you go through, it just strengthened. It's like once I came through, for some reason, I knew I would be all right, but I just knew it was going to be all right. And it was like after I had that moment, I was writing a song and all that stuff, and it just something like clicked, and I said, it's going to be all right. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
it was just something, because at first it felt like I couldn't see my way. And they talk about darkness. It's a
Right.
spiritual darkness, you know, and I really couldn't see my way for a while, you know, but God held me. Oh, I'll start crying if I think about it, you know, because
Yeah.
He looked out for me.
That's
And
right.
sometimes I was in places I shouldn't been. I was so obvious out of place in a couple of places where they said, you don't belong here.
This is not your kind of place.
Girl, we were talking.
She was letting you know you don't
Yeah,
even
she was like,
belong
like,
here. What are you doing here?
But sometimes you call yourself trying to hang with the cool kids. Like, no, you're not, that's not for you. You know,
Nah.
everything's not for you. But
Isn't
you
it
know,
something how they can see
Yeah.
that you don't even belong
You don't
here?
belong at that
But at the time, you don't
at the
even
time,
see
because I
it.
was just lost.
Right,
I was
that's
just
right.
lost, you know.
And it was a lot going on at that
Yeah,
time.
it was a lot. It was a lot. And like I said, they had an adult temper tantrum. I never knew quite what that was, but you know, but it gave me a lot of empathy for now. I can understand, and now I have a different appreciation.
Right.
And now it's like sometimes you just gotta just stay still. So sometimes, like I used to run around doing 15 things. My sister say, Nita, you get more things done in one day than most people get done in 3. You know?
Right,
And so
right.
now it's like I pace myself. I make sure I'm careful about the company I keep.
That's
That
one
is
of the
so
most important
things. I'd rather be alone and
Yes.
pray, meditate, just sometimes sit still. You know, the electric went off last night. It was good just to be still and let God.
That-
Yeah,
yes, yes.
I want to go back to when you say you were lost.
Yes.
God allows us to go through those times when
Yeah.
you think you're
Yes.
lost.
Yeah.
Because you really weren't lost. God
Not
was
really.
there all the time. And
Exactly.
He allows you
Exactly.
to do that so that when you encounter someone in that same situation,
Yes.
You'll be
you
able to
can
help
take
them.
them
Yes.
to the light.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Because the thing is, what they say, iron strengthens iron, but also the ones, it's like the most precious diamonds are the ones that are most valuable because you learn lessons. It's like, I had to go through the fire. I think I came out much wiser, like I said, more
Yes.
empathetic, more centered in the Lord, more centered, you know, in God, and just more appreciative, more in gratitude. You know, I just can't thank Him enough. And I just
Right.
have my little parties. I be in, we're playing my little music, dancing. I have my little tambourine, just enjoying myself. You know, you
Right.
don't do things outside. You know, enjoying my family.
Right.
I'm so blessed that I'm now reconnected with my baby over here.
And we all have that time where we walk through the fire because we
Right.
all have to be purged.
Yes.
Right.
If you're going to do anything for God,
Yes.
there is a purging
Yes.
that has to take place.
Yes.
And when you think about a diamond, when you look at it in its natural state, that is not a pretty stone.
No, it's
Exactly.
not.
You know, it's not.
No,
It's a piece
not.
of coal.
Thank you.
But it has to be. It has to
Yeah.
maturate.
Yes.
And then it has to go through a process.
process, yep.
And then it becomes a beautiful stone.
Yep.
And that's
that's
the
when
same
you can
thing
look
that
at it.
happens with us.
Yes.
We have to go through that fire.
purification,
We have to
that's
be
right.
purified.
That's right.
But then when we come out, we're beautiful
That's
stones.
right.
Yes.
That's
And
right.
then you're able to help someone along the
Yes,
way.
yes.
Because I tell everybody, if you never go through anything, no trials or tribulations, how do you know God can?
Yes.
If He's never taken you through something.
Yeah.
And your test is just a testimony for
Right,
someone
for
else.
someone
Yes,
else.
yes,
You know,
yes, because-
and I was telling Dr. Lewis, I said, when I first heard that scenario, that my test was somebody else, I was very angry. Because I was like, you mean to tell me I went through all of this for somebody else?
Right.
Well, I want to meet that person that I went through all of this for. You know, I suffered this. Why did I have to suffer this?
Yeah.
You know, and I was going through that whole thing of
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
But, you know,
But, you know,
it is a
and-
testimony so that you'll be able to
Yeah,
help
'cause- yeah.
another person that's going
right.
through.
And Jesus says, if you want to reign, if you suffer with me, you'll reign with
Right.
me.
Yes,
Right.
I'm telling you, it's, you know, when you go through stuff, you don't appreciate them. I appreciate it, and I
Yes.
came out. I'm in my right mind, truly in my right mind. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Stronger.
And- yes.
You're wiser.
Yes, yes. And now I have something to share with my grandson. You understand? If you never do anything, how am I going to help him when he's stumbling in the dark?
Right.
That's right.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? So now, and he says, yeah, Grandmom, you're right. And he listens to me because I do have something to say.
Right.
You know, and I do have experience. I have that maturity. Do the right thing, because if you make your bed hard, you're going to be the one that have to sleep
That's
in it, not
right.
me.
That's right. And
Believe
that's
that.
and you have to teach them that at a very young age.
That's right.
You know that one mistake can cost you your life.
Yes.
One wrong decision.
Right, because we're
You
living
know?
in the belly of the beast, as they say. You know.
And you know, I can remember growing up in the church, and they always told us about Jesus and told us about God.
Yes.
But you never know Him
Yes.
until you come to know Him for yourself.
That's right.
Right.
You have to
right.
come to know Him. You have to have a relationship with Him. You have to know Him for yourself.
And
Exactly.
it's an intimate relationship. that you
Yes.
don't have, like people were talking about. I had a girlfriend. Why would we live together all the time? I said, let me tell you, you can live together all you want, but I tell you, you have more of an intimate relationship with somebody when you marry.
Right.
Because that's
That's
a
right.
serious thing, and it's a certain intimacy you don't get. It's like until you go through stuff, and God really shows you everything. Because I appreciated a lot of things, but not until I actually went through stuff, and with my mother, my father, just different aspects of it. Thank you, God. You just can say, just keep, you can't thank them enough.
Right,
You know?
that's
and,
right.
And it's like being happy is one thing, but now I have a certain joy.
And peace.
You know what? And it's going to be all right.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean?
Exactly.
Whatever it's going, I know it's going to work out.
That's
And
right.
before I used to worry, but worry is just lack of faith. I don't
Yes.
worry anymore.
Right.
You know? And when I start to go back in those same patterns, I got to pull myself up and think,
Right.
girl, knock it off.
And take it back
Right,
to the
that's
word
right.
because Jesus said, "Can you change one thing by worrying?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's lack of faith.
And, you know, you can't change one thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly. Yep. And it, sometimes the foolishness is you don't even have to worry because it's already worked out.
Exactly.
You know, and so it's foolish. What, really, it's already worked out. I remember we had certain events, and we were thinking, oh, this person is show up and that person's,
Right.
and it would always work out. And it's like, Debbie, the people
Exactly.
who were supposed to be there were supposed
That's
to be
right.
there, and
That's
they showed
right.
up. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
they
It's gonna
did.
be, and it was all right. Matter of fact, it was better. You know.
Exactly. And she was like,
Okay.
every
It's like,
single
it was-
year,
it
I don't know
was-
what you're going to do this year
To top
to make
that.
it better
And guess
than
what? And
the
every
year
year
before.
she does, and I don't know how she does it.
It's
but
God.
every year, our annual sister thing that goes on in
The Women
it
of
was 11th
Excellence.
Yeah, it was the 11th year last year. Now we're going.
This
to
is the 11th.
The 11th. Okay, because
Yes.
you know me and time girl. But anyway, but it's like every time since I've been home, I haven't missed one. It's
Right.
like better and better. Different workshops you have. The women are just so blessed. I mean, you can see them. They're like firebrands. They, you know, and you just feel good being in their company.
Right,
You know, that's why I said you
right.
got to watch the company you keep.
Yes, you do.
Mommy always said, birds of a feather.
Flock together.
Right.
All right,
And a
so-
lot of times you listen to the things that they went through and you say, wow, I thought I went through some stuff.
Yeah.
But whoo, some of the stuff that them ladies went through,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
yeah.
And they're
Do
still
I really
here.
have a story?
You know, that's right. And they have, and they're on their books, and some of them have books out. And you say to yourself, if they were able to overcome
Right.
that, you know, being choked and locked in the basements, and you know, and raped and losing
Stabbed.
6 kids, and stabbed, and guns up to their head, and all kinds of stuff. If they were able to make it through that, and they still lived, and still have a story, and still can talk about it, then we know that we got a fighting chance.
But think about it. The whole thing that's even going on with the taking the children, separating the children. This isn't the first time this country's done that.
That's right.
They separated us and made sure we didn't have the same language separates from the children.
Right.
You know, they did horrible things with the Native Americans, separated them. You know, so this whole child separation thing, like I said, Donald Trump, it's easy because he is crazy enough to say it in an ignorant, straightforward way. Where the policies, since like Nixon, the policies have gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. And now, notice he attacked the political correctness. So in other words, don't respect the person. You could talk about him, talk to him any kind of way you want.
Right.
You could hurt him. We said, knock him in the chest. Hurt the different, just ignorant things. But he's having his time. But you know what? It's always
And God,
darkest
too, is
before
gonna have his
the
time.
light. Yeah, it's always darkest before the light. So
Yes.
I'm very encouraged, and I'm so happy, and I'm really, my body is healing, thank you, Lord. And I'm able to walk now without my walking stick and my cane a lot of times, because I'm so excited about the young people getting involved, all the people that are getting
Right.
organized, you know, being blessed, knowing that it's unrighteous. Debbie looked it up for me today. $1 billion is enough to have people,
To
20
feed.
families, to have $50,000 a year jobs which most people are working poor and
And
aren't making
for
that much.
20,000 people.
Yeah, for 20,000. Yeah, did I say the wrong number? 20,000, yes. So imagine how many billions. They got people now making so much money, and that's part of the problem, laundering money through America. This
Right.
is not something that just happened. This has been happening for a long
Exactly.
time. You know, but now,
Exactly.
thank God for the one good thing about the computer age, because you can, like, look stuff up and everything, but you just got to
Right.
be careful, even with that, where you're getting your information. I was trying to get, was it James Baldwin? And then pornography came up. It's like, really? So I had to shut that down. You got to just be so careful.
Yes, yes.
Even
That's
on-
why you have to be careful with your children.
Exactly.
Look
So
at.
I thank God I raised my children before that. Thank you. Oh, yeah. I would. I don't want to think about it.
Right, right. Well, I know that it has been truly a
Yes.
pleasure having you.
Yes,
It's
it
been a
has.
pleasure
You know,
here.
to come on to the Sister Strengthening Sisters Talk
Always.
Show,
Always.
especially after knowing you and your family and
Yeah.
growing up with you so many years ago from elementary. I think that was when I first came from New York
Yeah.
into Atlantic
We
City.
got tight in junior high. That was
Yeah, and
we
we
were
got
like this.
very, very close. We hung out, you
We
know.
walked from Albany Avenue, where the old high school is, to your mother's house, or your house,
which
in
was on
Inlet.
St. Catherine
Yes.
Place. And the
And then
kids
walk over to the-
today, you tell them to walk from St.
Yeah.
Catherine Place, which is
Yeah.
where the flagship is
Yeah,
at,
yeah.
all the way down to Atlantic City High School. They
Yeah.
might look at you like you
You're
are
crazy.
Walk?
Yep.
I'm not walking all the way.
Yep, we
You know,
walk,
but
yep.
we would do it every single day,
Whatever-
like it wasn't nothing.
Yeah, and then, when you were in a band and all this, we just had such a good time. Oh my God.
It was really good then,
It was
but you
good.
know what? Because we know God the way we do now,
Yeah.
it's even better
It's
now.
even sweeter.
Amen.
Yes,
It's
it's
even
sweeter.
better
Yes,
now to
it
see the
is.
people that you went to school with, and they know the Lord, and they know
Yes,
who
isn't
God
that
is,
nice?
you know, and
Yes.
they're doing what they're supposed to
Yes.
do, and God has put them in their vision where they
Yeah.
want to go.
Yes.
It's a wonderful thing.
Yes.
It's truly been a pleasure, and I definitely want you to come back again and talk to us, because I know you are a great activist.
Yeah, I'll tell you about some
Aside
art-
from the artwork
Yeah.
and all the other things that you've
Yeah.
done,
Yeah.
you know, I'm
So-
glad we are able to stay friends for
Oh, my God.
50-something years.
About 51 now, 52, something like that.
A lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
years, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's right, because that's right. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But we thank you so much for, you know, just taking time
my
out of your busy
pleasure.
schedule, coming here and sitting and always having a good time every time we're together.
Always, always.
There you've had it, you've heard it, you've seen it, you felt it.
Mess.
It's Sisters Strengthening Sisters. This has been Sister Strengthening Sisters Talk Show. I'm your host, Lady D, along with my co-host, Dr. Lois L. And our special guest on today was Juanita Love.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to join us next time for another edition of Sister Strengthening Sisters Talk Show.
Yes.
Have a great day.
Be blessed.
We mix our culture with the kingdom.
Yeah, man. It's that new summertime anthem right here. This how we do for the kingdom.
Now we more swagged out, bossed out, let a minute get the devil out.
Start this nonsense. Let's go.
Mix our culture with the kingdom. We mix our culture with the kingdom. We mix our culture with the kingdom. We mix our culture with the kingdom. Mix it. Mix it. Mix it. Mix it. We mix our culture with the kingdom. We mix our culture with the kingdom.
Yeah, made new, done with the old. I'm a walking lyrical scroll. No man, you strip this, a guy, you strip. I see she killed by soul.